Hello and welcome, this is Hearts of Iron 4, I'm Count Christo. We're going to be playing some of the Götterdämmerung mod, which lets you start in the 20th of June 1944. By this point the Soviets had pushed back the Nazi advance in the east, and the Normandy landing, though you can't see it on this picture, has just begun. So we're going to see if we can pull the Reich back from the brink. Let's get started. So this first episode is mostly going to be setup and getting everything ready and getting everything to place and garrisoning lots and lots of forts and ports, and setting up front lines and things like that. So if you want, you can skip straight on to the next episode, which I'll probably end up calling episode 1, because in this one we're mostly just going to be getting everything set up. I haven't played this mod for more than about 20 minutes. So don't expect me to suddenly be an expert, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so I like to run with a single field marshal approach, and of course the Germans start with their fantastic beginning field marshal. I took a look at this earlier, and this land over here, although there's quite a few people here, because it's non-core, and we're running with basically vanilla. We haven't got the extra recruitable population from non-core provinces, but getting barely anyone from all of this area. So what I'm planning to do is do a full-scale withdrawal. So basically this river and then this mountain range here, and I think we'll be much better able to hold that, because we start with, I don't think you can't see at the moment, we actually have a gigantic infantry equipment shortage. It's truly ungodly levels of infantry equipment shortage. So I'm going to immediately withdraw to a more defensible position and see if that makes it easier to hold against the Soviets. I think this should make it far more doable in general. That looks good to me. Right, yes. So ports are going to occupy much of the next couple of minutes. I like to put my port garrisons in a separate theatre, so that they can have them on normal priority rather than high, because obviously while defending your ports is vitally important, and I often say it's one of the top tips for beginning Hearts of Iron 4. If you're a new player, garrison your darn ports. It's incredibly easy to just think, oh, they won't navally invade me that much, will they? They'll do it a ridiculous amount if you're not careful and you don't garrison every port that they can get to. You just absolutely need to. We're going to deal with these guys here in just a moment, but for now we're going to go with 2 guys per port. I think it's going to be the typical allowance we're going to give ourselves. So the plan, such as it is very simple. We're going to push back. Oh yeah, you can't draw front lines until I think it's an hour's past, possibly a day's past. In this mod, just the game is a little bit confused that the borders aren't where it thinks they really ought to be. So we're going to set up all our port fortifications, and then we're going to let a little bit of time tick and deal with that. We've got Italy as a puppet here, which is pretty handy. For those that don't know the state of the war at this point, it's basically the world versus us. We do have Japan, but they're they're on the back foot in China. India usually manages to hold here, and America, the awoken giant, he's going to slowly island hop their way to Tokyo, and there's not much we can do about it. Not that we are very much inclined to do much about it at the moment, because we are desperately short of equipment and desperately short of everything, really, to be honest. Now, I've taken a look at all this area up here, and at the risk of offending Finnish and Norwegian viewers, this is worthless. This whole area is basically worthless. So we're going to just abandon all of that. I'm just going to have like a big garrison front line. This is just my reserves. You know, some over here, some over here. Easy able to deploy to wherever they're needed. They seem to invade Hamburg quite a bit, so I'm going to garrison Hamburg as well as Bremen. Maybe a smaller garrison in Hamburg should do the trick. We're also going to garrison all of Italy's ports because, of course, being AI, they won't be smart enough to do that for themselves. So we do that. Last time in my test game that I ran, the Allies just mysteriously vanished from this front line, which was very odd, but you know, very welcome. So hopefully, with a little bit of luck, they'll just do that again. We'll have to see. Yeah, so as I was saying, the plan generally, we're gonna garrison all our 4 ports. Is obviously step 1 of this plan, and then we're going to see what we can do to just hold the line. And we've pulled back significantly. If you can see here, so the length of this front line at the moment, I reckon we've cut it in half by pulling back to this line. And this river crossing penalty, this mountain terrain penalty, that's going to be really significant in holding against the Soviets. So I'm going to hold the line, hopefully retake Italy, hold the line against the Allies in the naval game, and then we're going to see what we can do to push down the Soviets. And if we can pull that off, get to a peace conference with the Soviets, then we'll be looking pretty good to do some naval shenanigans against the Allies. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. I'm feeling pretty confident. I reckon. I mean, you know, it's just the world versus us. I'm pretty sure we can handle it. Our divisions are relatively rubbish. They're okay, but they're not great. I don't like this anti-tank. We're going to swap that out for just almost anything really. I really don't like using support anti-tanks. We're going to probably switch it out for signal company or maybe rocket artillery. Depends how we're feeling. Depends what we're missing really. Is what it will come down to. Oh yeah, any cavalry divisions, just no. We're going to delete them. They're not worth. We've got motorised for speed, and if we need it, and I think the amount of equipment we'll get off them. Because in just a second you'll see we have like I think it's a 2-year infantry equipment deficit right now, which is really, you know, as I'm sure you're aware, really painful to overcome. Okay, we're looking pretty good. I think we're almost ready to let the tiniest bit of time tick. And get this party started. We're going to push real hard. What we need to do here is prevent them taking Cherbourg. I think we can do it. I'm not entirely convinced. I think we can do it. And the way we're going to do it is by redeploying a bunch of these guys along this coast and just telling them to sail immediately to Cherbourg. And I think that should let us hold it. Because what they're going to do is almost immediately they're going to attack Cherbourg from 2 directions with tank divisions, and they're good mechanized cavalry, whatever. And they're good divisions, right? They're gonna do a lot of damage. The reason, in case you're wondering, we've got all these weirdly huge number of wars across the top of the screen is because the Götterdammerung developers apparently couldn't handle building in mixed wars, so they're all the individual people we're at war with are all being listed as separate. They'll get all joined together very shortly, so it's not a problem in the slightest. I'm going to base everyone out of Kiel and just get them all there to start with. Yeah, and then we'll organise from there. We'll probably use our surface fleet to just hold the Baltic, and then our our wolf packs will do some traditional convoy raiding, keeping it historical on the use of fleets. I think. Where are these unassigned units? Like I said, we're just going to pour men to holding off their the endeavours of Operation Overlord. If you don't know, Operation Overlord is the Allied invasion of northern France. It was known as Operation Overlord. D-Day being the most famous individual day, mission, day, attack, whatever you want to call it, of that operation. But hopefully, in this alternate timeline of ours, Operation Overlord will be a total failure, and will go down in history alongside other total failures, such as, of course, Barbarossa, which is not going to be a failure. Barbarossa being the German invasion of Russia, which we are going to pull off in this campaign, all being well. We've totally lost all of our hold down in Africa, so we're not going to worry about that. We're probably going to try and keep Turkey neutral, and then fortify maybe this river. Baku is where a lot of the oil resides, so, or Azerbaijan rather. So we're probably going to try and fortify this river, and then just hold the allies there while we come across. Maybe we'll take out China, help Japan get back on their feet. Not sure. Anyway, I'm getting rather ahead of myself. We need to survive first, so any remaining unassigned divisions. Where are these guys? Just around. Let's get into Normandy. Okay, research. We've got basically everything researched. There's very little left for us to do. We're going to get right ahead on nukes. We've got plenty of slots. But yeah, most things are totally researched up to time, except, amazingly, this final bits of land doctrine, which we're going to definitely see if we can push for, and all the final tier ones of these, which we're going to get going ahead of time, because these support companies are bread and butter of a successful campaign. Okay, is that everything? Yep. Government. Now, in just a second, there's going to be an event which is going to take away about 8 million manpower. So we are going to go to total mobilisation, but we're also going to go right up to all adult serve. I just happen to know that we're about to lose a crap ton of manpower. We're also going to, of course, go with Manstein to get that research faster. I think. I can't remember if those apply retroactively. Well, we just used up the research bonus anyway, so no matter. We're going to need some army logistics and armor genius. And no, that's wrong. Darn it. We're going to swap out division attrition for infantry experts. And I think that might be also. Yep. War industrialist, because we have a pitiful 93 military factories, so we're going to get going. Some more military factories. If this bit falls, the war is lost, so I'm happy to rebuild all those there. The other thing is, I've realised we're using 30 factories rather than the vanilla 15. So we're also going to build up just one level of fort all the way down here. I think that makes a whale of difference, and they take, as I'll show you in just a second, these forts take a grand total of 6 days. It's pretty darn good in my book, so we'll bang those out. Is that everything? No, production is a rather important area. Now, I'm going to do something that many will disagree with, but I'm going to cancel all fighter production, all close air support production, all rocket interceptor production. I'm gonna cancel jet fighter, and I'm just gonna put in some level 1 basic infantry equipment. I'm gonna put as much of that as I can get my hands on. Maybe a bit more support, because we have, as you'll see, as I let time tick in just a second, this number is going to go to about negative 100,000. I kid you not. So we desperately need just anything. And on the navy front, we're not a naval power. We have reconciled ourselves with this fact. and we're going to make some convoys. We're going to make some subs. And we're going to have them deploy to here. Oh, by the way, the mod list will be in the description. One of the ones that's brilliant is this huge production interface you can see here. I'm gesturing. I don't know why I'm gesturing, which is really helpful. And there's also a bigger aeroplane deployment interface, which you click here. So this is just much bigger. Just lots of things that, you know, Paradox never likes to make things as big as they really ought to be in their games interface-wise. So just the standard mods to make it all bigger. We're going to do the standard thing with the air forces, just redeploy them all to one place, and then delete them all from there, and then deploy them out where we want them. But okay, I think we're pretty much ready. So all the armies, no one's not in a theatre. All the navies have all got an order. The airplanes are all being disbanded. National focus. There we go. We would have forgotten something. We are of course going to get Wunderwaffe, which makes me realise maybe don't start nuclear bombs before you get the research bonus. You don't. So let's switch that over. Let's get some better signal companies. Sounds good. What else? Trade, we're okay. We've got surplus of everything at the moment, which is lovely. We've got all the constructions, got the production. We're obviously not going to. I'm going to priorities reinforcing, obviously, as you should always do. We're not going to train any more troops, obviously, because as I say, this number is about to go negative, and just so that I'm not thought to be a liar, let a tiny bit of time take. Yeah, there you go. So lots of the wars just merge there, as you can see at the top. Lots and lots and lots of wars merging. And here's what I was saying earlier. So yeah, 18 million manpower, not quite 10 million manpower, not so good. And yeah, this number has fallen to 11, minus 11,000. As you can see, if you watch that tooltip as I unpause, it's really not very good. I don't quite understand why these things pop up, but I'm just going to do the one that doesn't appear to give away some of my land. So, yeah. And we're going to accept all these call to arms, which is going to help in merging up all these wars. And now that a couple of days have ticked, we can do this. Draw the front line, and of course this. Draw another little mini front line. And all of those divisions that I told to come in, I'm going to assign to this inside one. Same order for them, of course. And if I missed anything... Oh, I haven't garrisoned The Hague. That would be a disaster. Okay, I think that is pretty much all systems go. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to call that the first part, and we'll catch up next time with our mass withdrawal in progress in the east. We're going to see if we can hold out. Okay, fantastic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.